And welcome to the Georgia Southern postgame wrap-up show. I'm Josh Aubrey, coming to you from Vaught Hemingway Stadium on the campus of Ole Miss, where the Georgia Southern Eagles fall by a final score of 37-27 to the Ole Miss Rebels. Not many people came into this game thinking the Eagles could hang with the Rebels, but not only did they do that, they actually led in this game by a score of 21-10 on the heels of a Matt Breida 68-yard touchdown run. The Eagles try an onside kick. From there, the wheels kind of fell off for Georgia Southern. Ole Miss gets some momentum, outscores Georgia Southern 27-6 the rest of the way en route to the 37-27 victory for Georgia Southern. Matt Breida goes over 100 yards for the first time this season, 100 yards exactly. Kevin Ellison plays the entire game except for one play. He played pretty well, but Georgia Southern's offense couldn't really get things going from mid-second quarter on. Meanwhile, the Eagle defense a little tired. Chad Kelly banged up in the third quarter. He comes out, backup comes in, but the Eagles can't take advantage of that and end up falling by a final score of 37-27. Despite the loss, Georgia Southern with plenty to build on. They did switch the play callers this week. It went from Rance Gillespie to David Dean. You saw in the first half, or at least for the first quarter and a little bit of the second quarter, a little bit of change in direction for the Eagles offensively, but then things started going downhill from there, and the Eagles had to settle for some field goals from Younghoe Koo instead of touchdowns. A drop touchdown in the end zone by B.J. Johnson there late in the game. It could have maybe changed some momentum. Ends up falling out of his hands. They have to settle for a field goal, and Georgia Southern ends up falling 37-27. When we come back, we'll hear from head coach Tyson Summers and some of the players on the Eagles' loss.
We're Kyle and Jared Lott of Smack TV.
Each week we go into millions of homes to show you great hunting.
And we couldn't do what we do without TC Outdoors doing what they do.
It doesn't matter if your adventure takes you fishing in the local pond or on a cross-country hunt.
TC Outdoors is going to be there for you with gear, know-how, and support, just like they are for us.
They've been here for years. We know them.
And we trust them.
So come by TC Outdoors on Northside Drive. Tell them Jared and Kyle sent you.
Our team overall, we came out, guns on fire. We were ready to play. We were very excited about this game. And, I'm very proud of my team for the progress we made.
What was the difference this week and maybe last week against App?
I think just the intensity picked up. We knew what we had to do coming into the game, and, a lot of the guys that just went out and tried to execute the game plan.
Do you guys, when you're playing in an environment like this, do you feel like your level picks up a little bit?
Oh, yeah. The bigger the competition, the bigger your level got to rise up, to be able to compete with those guys. Ole Miss is a great team, and, we had to step it up a little bit to compete against them. Hate losing. It's tough after a loss, but I feel like our team is really, taking that step to go ahead and finish strong.
We knew that we had to bring it to them. They got a lot of good athletes on offense. They're big, so we just wanted to bring it to them early. Of course, we did better on offense. We definitely played better on defense. And we knew basically practice was real hard. We knew we had to adjust to the tempo, but in my opinion, practice was harder than the game. So when we got here, it was just a breeze. When
you're playing in an environment like this, does it bring your level up? What do you guys feel like?
Most definitely. We know we got a lot of people watching. We know on TV, big team, SEC. So we knew at the end of the day, it's still another game. We got to go win these next three and try to get to a good bowl game.
O-line accepted the challenge this week. We told them it was going to be a big game. They got a great D-line, and they got a great defense in general, so the O-line stepped it up. We just got to finish in all quarters. I feel like in the second quarter we didn't finish as strong as we did the other three quarters, and we got to play a complete game. We play a great team like that. Anytime you go to a big team like this, a SEC team, and you're playing against great competition, everyone gets a little extra juice in them. So I feel like we had that juice this week, and we showed it today.
Big plays. You haven't really had one yourself. Finally got one going. What was that like for you?
It was great. Me and the O-line were waiting for it all season, and we kept telling ourselves eventually going to happen, and it happened today. So I give it all to them. It was definitely frustrating for us, especially a big game like this. We feel like we could have won if we would have done certain things different, but we got to put it behind us and look forward to the rest of the games of the season.
You don't ever have any moral victories by any stretch of the imagination, but today I do think that what you saw was vast improvement over the last time that we went and played out, particularly offensively. I think that our offensive line, our running backs had their best game, and I certainly think that our offensive staff did a great job of coming together and putting a game plan to put us in position to win a game and give us a chance to be successful. We were able to certainly do what we wanted to do, which was slow the clock down, get ourselves in opportunities where we could get in a few more of the freeze plays, to be in the right call versus the right look a little bit more, and that was able to help us. I thought that Kevin did a nice job of managing the game through all of it, and you know what we've got to be able to do. Again, very similar to the Western Michigan game where the second quarter just really hurt us, and took a lead early, and again, you know, we're really kind of firing on all cylinders, playing well on defense, and then don't play very well the last 8 minutes of the second quarter. And again, we've got to do a better job of maintaining that second half, you know, where I did think that we had played a good first half defending the run. The second half, obviously, you know, we're able to knock the quarterback goes out of the game, and they've got their second string guy in, and we're not able to make an adjustment or two fast enough. You know, or a drive or two soon enough to be able to sit there and give us a chance. I am pleased with, again, how our offense played. I think our defense continues to fight and continues to come out early. I thought they handled the tempo of Ole Miss, particularly early, very well. Special teams wise, we were very up and down. You know, we've got a big run, kickoff return by Malik Henry to start it, and gave us some energy and gave us a chance to be in some good field position, which we desperately need. And then turn around Malik Henry again with the punt block. You know, and again winds up being, I believe, our fourth block this year, and those are big plays for us again, and wind up leading to points. You know, the other piece, we've got to do a better job of being consistent with our punter, and Young Wei continues to be an asset for us. Missed the long one before the end of the first half, a little bit to the right, had plenty enough leg with it. We've got to get our kickoff return going in the right direction the second half, you know. And again, got really our guy who's an extremely young guy back there, who's on our third different kickoff returner through the game, and you know he'll learn from it and he'll be better because of this game, and he'll do a fantastic job for us in the future. You know, from a statistical standpoint, again, the things that jump out at you is, again, the time of possession we were able to win and be on top of that the way that we felt like we needed to be able to be to give ourselves a chance to be successful, and then being able to turn around. You know, we've got to be able to hold them and limit their rushing yardage. You know, I thought we did a nice job. You know, our penalties, again, you know, the penalties came in spurts, and we've got to do a good job when those things happen of being able to stop them and move on to the next play and not let the play before affect us. And so anyway, with that, if y'all have any questions, you can feel free.
Coach, this is the first time all year that you guys have gone with one quarterback the entire game. Seth played one play. Was that a decision that you made, that you guys made as a staff, to keep Kevin and let him play a whole game?
Well, it was certainly something when we came out of last weekend, you know, and trying to look and reflect on what we needed to be able to do to be successful. We certainly felt like going with Kevin was going to give us the best opportunity. I did feel like that Seth would be able to play a series or two. Didn't necessarily work out like that. But again, I thought Kevin did a good job throughout the week of being a good leader and being able to manage the game today the way that we needed to. And again, I thought that the offense staff, you know, in the face of adversity, really did a nice job of putting a good plan together and being able to come up with something that would give us a chance to move the chains and be able to give our chance to keep the defense off the field and an opportunity to win the game.
You jump out to a 21-10 lead, big run. People have been waiting for it all year. It finally happens. Breida gets a 68-yarder. Looks like you have all the momentum right there, and then things kind of went downhill.
Well, it goes downhill because I was trying to get some momentum, and I, you know, like everybody on our football team. And if you look back, I certainly, you know, going back, I can't tell you how I feel about the decision to go with the surprise on side. It was certainly there from the alignment, from the look, from every piece of it that we had sat there and worked, and certainly felt like it was there. And I thought we executed it. We just got to be able to get on the ball. And you know, but it was the turning point, and that's on me. And there's nobody here that feels worse about that than I do. I promise you, it feels like a gosh dang dagger in my heart for these players and for our staff. And but I do think it's the right opportunity. I do think it was the right time, and I was coming here today to win. And it did. It set off a chain reaction for a couple of things that didn't go our way through those 8 minutes. And again, looking back in retrospect, you wish you had the 20/20 vision before you started, but I thought we executed it. We just got to be able to get on the ball, and I really wanted to try to put a daggum hammer down and let them know that we were here to win.
From there, it went downhill, like you said. He didn't score another touchdown after that. Do you feel like they did anything adjustment-wise that made it tough for you guys to move the ball offensively, or do you feel like you guys might have got a little conservative, or what happened from that?
Well, we wound up having a couple different things happening, and again, it's not excuses, but we started having dings, and I mean, we had injuries. And when you sit there and go through the game, where we had Malik Henry, we had Crockett, you have Wesley Fields at one point in time, you have LA and Wesley on back-to-back plays, and Matt Breida that's been really battling a back since Georgia Tech, who's you can tell despite the yards he had today in the big run has been battling that thing and grimacing through every step that he takes. And so again, I've got to give those guys a lot of credit for the way that they sat there and came out and performed and played today despite some of those injuries. But I think some of that got created with it. And again, when we're in a position until we can get Kevin 100% healthy too, it makes it a little bit harder to be able to throw the ball and open up some of those things. I don't think that we necessarily got more conservative. The biggest thing that happened to us was we didn't have any field position. I mean, and I agree with you. We've got to be able to find ways to score touchdowns and not kick field goals. That's obviously been a reoccurring theme. But at the end of the day, if we're starting the ball inside the 15, inside the 10, if we've got opportunities to pin people down where we're punting from the 35 or the 40 and we wind up not being able to hit a punt for the net's at least 35 to 40 yards, then, it winds up being hard. We've got 70-yard drives that wind up being 3 points. It's a heck of a drive, but if we're able to be in a different position with the field position, then we've got a chance to score.
And you mentioned no moral victories, but obviously you guys took a big step forward compared to what happened last week against App. Do you feel like the thought in that locker room, the feeling of the team is we're on the right track now, despite a loss to Ole Miss for the rest of the season?
Well, I certainly hope so. At the end of the day, we've got to sit there and take these last 3 games, and we've got to play their conference play. And they're important, and they're as big as any of them, and that starts with Lafayette, and it's another quick turnaround, and as you sit there and go through it, we've got to be able to again put together another outstanding game plan because they do a great job. Coach Hudson's been there a long time, has had a lot of success, and we know what kind of football team we're getting, but we've got to finish these 3 weeks out. We've got to be able to finish them the right way, and we've got to be able to sit there and get ourselves in a bowl game.
So a 37-27 loss to Ole Miss, but you heard from both Coach Summers and some of the players, they feel like they were able to build a little momentum in the game, take a step forward. They're going to really need that as it's a short turnaround this week as they have another Thursday night game. It's homecoming at Paulson Stadium. The Eagles hosting Lafayette. Lafayette struggled quite a bit this year. Let's see if the Eagles can pull off the victory this week at home in Paulson Stadium for homecoming. That'll wrap things up for now. I'm Josh Aubrey. Hope to see you again next week.